Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Brian Altano. I'm here with Mitch Dyer at Tokyo Game Show 2014.
I'm so excited about Monster Hunter.
You are. We just played Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate for the Nintendo 3DS.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at Monster Hunter. I tried giving it a shot on the Wii U. I feel like I just jumped in, didn't learn what I needed to learn, went out there and got my ass kicked.
Yeah.
I played with you. You know your Monster Hunter a little bit more than I do.
A little bit. Not like Jose Otero by the end knows it, but I get it.
But you and I teamed up today with two Capcom reps. We played 4-player against one giant enemy crab.
Ugh.
And what do? We whooped some ass.
We whooped that crab's ass.
It took a while, but we got it. And I feel like it's probably not what people want to hear, but for me, this was a way more accessible experience. Playing Monster Hunter like this, I think I got it a little bit better.
We played, I think, the level was like intermediate. I don't know what that means. I think like G rank is like that's the real stuff. Like that's really hard. I don't know what hard means in this game though. Like I feel like it must just be like, oh, you fight him for longer. Yeah. And he does a lot more damage. Yep. Which is great. But you and I played, and it was a fairly simple boss battle. We fought against this giant crab in the desert, and he had all these like really awesome moves that, like, he would soak you in this like weird rabies spray that created a condition that you needed to take care of, or you were like going to start losing stamina and health. He would like pop out of the ground. They would nail you, and he was like big, powerful attacks. Lots of variety, lots of very unique attacks that weren't in the previous demo, where a totally different monster had his own skills. I thought that was one of the really good positive traits about this demo too. Was you play a lot of multiplayer games where you fight a giant boss and he just kind of stands there and hits you with one or two attacks. There was so much variety in the way this boss maneuvered around the environment and fought you that it kind of kept you on your toes. And even though the boss battle lasted a long time, it was interesting the whole time because there was so much different movement. And this is nothing new to, like, if you're a Monster Hunter fan out there, this is not new to you, but I really loved finally like getting to spend some real time with like a Monster Hunter game as opposed to like, I checked it out, it was okay. Yeah. Like we played a full mission, and this is the first time where I'm like, man, I could like really get into this because you're fighting this thing and it goes through these different phases and it leaves the area and you have to chase after it, and its AI state changes based on its status. Like if it's weak, it's going to start behaving differently. Yeah. So you have to take advantage of that. And it's a really smart action game that's challenging, even though we found it a little more accessible than usual. Sure. The big new thing with Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate on 3DS is that you can jump on top of monsters and ride them. Yeah. And not really like in the let's go for a ride type of way, like jam a sword into its brain, like Shadow of the Colossus. Yes. Dragon's Dogma style. It's awesome. Any game that sort of calls back to Shadow of the Colossus, I'm very happy about. That's good for me. It's just really cool to see like Brian like leaping off of a ledge, landing on this monster and jamming his sword into it while I'm like, I'm gonna hit him with a hammer. Yeah, like I'm on top punching him in the neck and my friends are down there hitting him in the chin. Like, it's great. Somebody's over there like laying a trap for him to be lured into. It's like it is exactly what Monster Hunter fans love. Yeah. And it's the same kind of thing that they've loved for a long time. But for you and I who've never played one, seriously, it's like, oh man, like I really get it. Really I thought it was just a really pretty game to look at too. Like aesthetically, 3D was great too. Yeah, 3D looks really good on that game. And I think the environments are really nice looking. Like we saw this sort of like sandy dune that led into this like kind of tropical locale with water coming up to the side, palm trees that you could like jump on. Fighting in canyons and stuff. Yeah, it's really cool. And the areas are kind of bite-sized, but the monster battles like kind of go from place to place. You'll see the crab jump up, dip underneath, head into the next environment. And how you navigate that environment is different, right? Like you might be like, oh man, like there's a ledge up there. Or like we can climb that tree, jump off the tree, jump on the monster. We couldn't do that at the dune beach because it was just like a hill. Yeah. Yeah, and I think hardware-wise, with the 3D the limitations on the 3DS, having some like slightly more bite-sized environments that all link together, give them the opportunity to make everything look better than it would if you just had one big grand environment. Yeah, they've also, like, to the point of the hardware, they've really nailed down the controls in this. It's just really easy to like bounce between a potion or a bomb or a trap or whatever healing item you need, and now instead of like, if you don't have the new 3DS with the new thumbstick, like you can just tap the D-pad, which is on the right side of the touchscreen, which is camera control. So you can use the D-pad, but then you're not moving. Now they've got like a nice system that just lets you do both. Yeah, I thought it worked well. Just have the sort of virtual cross pad on the system. When you touch it, it actually looks like it's got an animation like it's being pressed down. It's great. And it feels right, like, and a lot of the quick action buttons work really well. Yeah. Assigning stuff to buttons and using it on the fly, healing your friends and eating meat.
on the battlefield.
Love eating that steak.
It's always good to be able to eat meat on the battlefield.
Get some good steak and eat. Yeah, I mean, it's a Monster Hunter game. I'm not entirely sure how somebody like Jose will respond to this.
Yeah.
As, you know, I'm a longtime fan. What do I think about this particular incarnation? But what's here is really good. It's really strong. I really enjoyed playing it.
Yeah, me too. It was really fun.
Brian, thanks a lot for hanging out with me today. We've been doing this.
Yeah, this has been great.
I feel like for 1,000 years. We've done so many videos about games at TGS. We're going to be covering a ton of stuff. Look for a video about Resident Evil Revelations 2 if you're into horror games.
Yep.
And stay tuned to IGN for all things Tokyo Game Show.
Monster Hunter.